Make sure these volumes are down. Hey there, Prez. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Lisa?
Pretty good. You want to introduce what we're going to be talking about this week?
This morning, we're basically going to be going over some things to possibly ease your mind in case we go into a new bear market or market crash or correction or pullback or what have you.
I'm sorry. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm sorry about that. Let's start over. Let's start over. You were hearing all the feedback. I apologize.
I had some on my end too. I thought I had muted something over here and it started going off. So I was like, what was that?
Okay, let's just scrap that first minute of the show and let's get started again. All right, Prez, how are you today? Let's get started.
I'm finding you.
Can you please introduce the topic? I am good.
Basically, I want to go over some, potentially provide a little bit of motivation and some things to ease the new investor's mind as to why they shouldn't be panic selling or things of that nature due to a slight pullback in the market or worst case scenario, we're starting a new bear market.
Okay. All right. So I want to say thank you to MTGV, Make This Go Viral Crime Podcast, for becoming a channel member. And first things first, another thing that I want to highlight because by the time we end this show today, I want Prez at 500 subscribers. We need 3 more. So if you enjoy our content, if you've been tuning in on Sundays and you are not subscribed yet, I want it to stick. I want you to be a true supporter, not just a subscriber. So if you're not already, make sure to subscribe to Prez. If you're not subscribed to me, subscribe to me also. But by the end of this hour, I want the 3 subscribers for Prez the Investor. So let's get started. Thank you everyone for tuning in. You want to take a little bit more of a station break before we get into our first topic of the day, Prez? Any
Sure.
updates on what's
Well,
going on your channel?
first of all, before we go any further, I need you guys to do me just one favor. Hit the like button for me. And if you have not done so already, like Lisa said already, please subscribe. Subscribe to us both.
Okay. So, on our channels, we talk all things finance, investing, and building wealth. And today, as Prez touched on, we have lots of topics that we are going to touch on related to the market downturns and, of course, always staying consistent with our investing. So, first, let's talk about not letting the market scare us out of good, sound investments. Now, this is something I really haven't faced yet in my own financial journey, but I'm just going through some stuff right now. It makes me a little weary of it. I've never sold an investment just like to get the money. I haven't sold an investment before I wanted to because I needed the money. I haven't tapped into my 401k like to fix a furnace or to purchase a car or something like that. um, I've been finding another way to deal with, the ups and downs. So I've never been scared or just had a financial obstacle that made me go to my investments, my long-term investments in order to get through the situation. Now, I have had some sad things in my portfolio um, that have been significantly down, but it's been it's I've just really faced it. The one thing that I've shared on this channel, and I think it might have been the only thing in 2023 that I cut out of my portfolio because of the performance. And it wasn't because I was scared. I had just done my research and I was just ready to let it go. And that was my JetBlue position. So talk to us a little bit about like what you think is going on with people panic selling and your experience, if any, on how you've managed your portfolio in
I
these type of
basically
in
I
these
think it
times.
has a lot to do with your current financial situation. Like you could have potentially started your investing journey before getting rid of a lot of debt, or you think things of that nature, or without starting to build up a nice size enough emergency account, emergency fund, and a high yield savings account. And me personally, full transparency, I'm guilty of that because when I learned about the market, I was going struggling a little bit financially, and I came in with the wrong mindset. And that's another thing that I notice a lot of people who aren't even in the market yet. The first thing they ask is, "When can I make money?" When it's not an overnight process. And I really want to instill that into the new investor that it's not an overnight process. You got to really stay consistent. And once you build up a nice amount, don't touch it no matter what. Even if you're going through a financial hardship, you basically have to find another way because you could potentially be giving up on a nice run up as far as gains in the future. As soon as you sell it all, you notice that the market will turn around and go the opposite way to the upside. And you seeing other content creators that you're reporting their gains not to brag but to motivate the ones that stay consistent and to don't give up the fight. And it's a marathon at the end of the day and not a sprint. So maybe if someone was to hear it firsthand as someone who's actually been through something like that where life happens and you gotta sell your investments off and you really don't want to. And a lot of times it could be at a time during a market downturn where you're looking at those negative, those negative unrealized gains, and then you're looking at your current financial situation and the market's slowly but surely coming down even further. So you're weighing your options like what should I do? And that's the easiest option for you to choose because that money is already there. You don't have to work for it. All you have to do is sell it all and withdraw it and take care of whatever you needed to take care of financially. And that's really not a good idea. I really just want to encourage you guys to find another way. Find another way. And to prevent that, build up a nice size emergency fund before you even start investing. Like, don't try to hit the ground running because it's a marathon and it's not a sprint. You have to put that proper equipment on. Make sure that you're nice and straight as far as your financial situation, as far as debt is concerned, especially high interest debt like credit card debt and things of that nature.
Mhm, mhm. I agree with you 100%, and I mentioned, like, the furnace breaking down because I think for a lot of people, the largest amount of money that they've ever accumulated is their retirement account, and then something happens and they're immediately wanting to get in contact with it and tap into it. But yes, it has not been in my money mindset or my planning, and it's not in my thought process to go to let me reach out to Fidelity and see if I can tap into my retirement account when something happens. But thankfully I have the credit, and I've been able to, like I said, work through my issues. Like a couple of days ago, I think it was Wednesday, my refrigerator just was acting like it wanted to conk out on me, and I was like, oh well, I'm gonna have to figure this out. But that's a much smaller expense than, a furnace or the air conditioning going out. But when things happen, I just don't go to thinking about the retirement account. I'm thinking about exactly what you said. I'm going to have to pull money out of that emergency fund, and then I'm going to have to little by little work on replenishing it back up. So that's how I've been going about it. And thankfully, it's been enough. It hasn't been to the situation where I had to tap into selling my investments or doing things that weren't in the plans for right now. So I want to touch on a little bit, like right now when the market is really in a downturn, and we might be. How do you think the next few months are going to look like going into towards the election?
It could what I'm guessing, and I can only guess at this point, what I'm guessing is gonna slowly but surely turn to the downside. You may see, pops here and there to the upside, and that's a chance for traders, short-term traders to take profit and institutions to take profit and things of that nature. But yes, what we're saying now is a complete sector rotation. They're rotating out of the AI related stocks and they're now putting their larger money into smaller cap companies, but that could be short lived as well because the smaller cap companies financially aren't doing nowhere near as well as your Apple and your Microsoft and companies like that.
Mhm.
So it could be short lived. That's why I was stating in my show Friday evening that if you don't have a sizable enough position in your larger cap companies, you shouldn't even be thinking about sector because you'd have yet to accumulate enough of your Apple, enough of your VTI, enough of your Microsoft and companies like that.
Okay.
That's something that the larger institutions and banks and large traders like that should be worried about sector rotation. The smaller investor is it should be least of your worries right now. You're only overcomplicating things.
Okay. Well, I did make a video on 10 small cap ETFs for those that are interested in having that exposure through an ETF, just like we're already gaining through our large caps. But yeah, we've all of us have lived through something of some uh economic downturn, not the Great Depression back in the 1920s or 30s, but many of us on the show today, listening in today, have gone through the global financial crisis in like 2007 to 2009. We've lived through COVID 2020. During these times, for example, at the height of COVID, the S&P was down 34%. The dot-com bubble, early 2000s, the Nasdaq at one point was down, had lost value by 78%. So if you have your eyes open to investing, if you're stable, if you have money for investing, we have to look at these times as opportunities instead of being like we're talking about here today, kind of being scared and shaken out of your positions and wanting to sell. What happens after all the events that I mentioned and many others that we've gone through, the market always recovers. So from when I started this channel, one of the things I was saying is that recessions make millionaires. So we have to take this opportunity and have our eyes open and see the buying opportunities in front of us instead of um, seeing that great stocks are essentially on sale and taking this as an opportunity and not being so scared. And that's when it comes to sounds good investments. Not you can't just throw your money behind anything, but an ETF like we invest into heavily that gives you exposure to the total stock market, things like that. Um, while they're down, there it is going to recover. It always does. Historically, it always does. So have your eyes open to when it is at a low point, and if you have extra, I would recommend investing more. So
Definitely.
let's take a minute and take a look at the chat. I saw. Oh, the chat is moving quick for me. I know it's not a huge. So Denise is over here thanking Nightbot. She
That's
like she
something I
like
do in everybody's chat.
she likes my Nightbot prompt over here. It says, "Let's learn, then earn." And she responded back to Nightbot, I'm here to learn."
I do that in everybody's chat that has a Nightbot. I speak to Nightbot after I speak
Mhm.
to everybody else. And Nightbot speaks back to me. Hello, Press. Thank you for tuning in. I be like, you're welcome.
Okay, so Pipeline tuned in to my interview over with investing with Rod the other night. I think that's how he
Mhm.
discovered your channel. Nice.
That's awesome. I'm currently holding on to my current investments to further develop my positions in large cap stocks. That is a great idea. That is a great idea. Like I'm a repeat it over and over. It's a marathon at the end of the day and not a sprint. So these market pullbacks is only a chance for you to increase your positions and add to your compound interest tools. I don't even know how to word it right now, but
Mhm.
don't let the market pass you by at the end of the day just because you're currently going through a financial hardship or you're in fear that the market is going to zero or something like that, or you don't like looking at the red and things like that. When I get times like that and it's really bad in the bad market, I'll just simply start a whole new portfolio and not even look at the other ones and just start a new project. That was the motivation for me even starting this channel from the for my original channel. Actually, we were in the almost at the bottom of a bear market, and I
Mhm.
realized that because I like to look at charts, and not saying I'm the best chart analyst in the world or anything like that, but it really interests me, and I look at what happened in the past to try to predict what's going to happen in the future. So I look at all of the previous market crashes, I zoom in on them, and I say, well, it recovered really nicely. And then I look at the progress after that previous crash, and I'm like, wow, if only I could have got in with selling the neighbor's dog at during the COVID crash or something like that, or the previous bear market or something like that. So
Yeah, yeah,
I personally, at the point of my investing journey that I am now, I have nowhere near enough accumulated to where as though I can just say, okay, I can just live off of dividends now. So I welcome market crashes because I know they're going to be very short lived compared to a bull market, and that gives me a chance to add more onto what I already have.
definitely, definitely. I wish, coming into 2020, I wish I had confidence that that I was going to be employed, and I just wish that I that was my biggest obstacle, I think, because I had the knowledge of what I wanted to invest into. I was just scared about the financial situation, if I was gonna have a job, and should I put the money into investments. If anything, I wish I would have gone heavily into investing, and in that situation, if I had to sell it because I lost my job, and we didn't know that there would have been any loan forgiveness or stimulus money. No one knew those things could potentially help us to get through the situation. But I can't turn back the clock on that one. But I definitely would have invested so much more heavily. All right. So hello to Karen and Rod. Um, do we miss any questions?
I see one at the bottom. How do you think this election will affect the market for better or for worse? Well, right now the market has, in my opinion, has already priced in the uncertainty. So whoever Wall Street feels though they want in office, if they whether happen to get in office, and right now it's looking like the Republicans because they're pretty much pro crypto. So a lot of people that are invested in crypto and things of that nature, and we want mass adoption of certain cryptocurrencies so that our investments can do a lot better than what they already are. So if one of the politicians were to say we're against crypto, then it's going to be bad for the crypto investors. And you have a lot of crypto investors that are out here, young, old, big, small, all across the world. You have people that are currently long-term investing into crypto. I've even met people that are 100% crypto invested. They have zero stocks, zero real estate, is a 100% all in on crypto.
I can't do it.
No, I don't have a belly for it. I just take bite-sized pieces. I'll just get a little bit of exposure, but I will rather be primarily into stocks because I'm able to read the balance sheet. I'm able to listen to an earnings call, or if I don't want to listen to a boring earnings call, I can just look at the final report and try to make sense of it myself based off of how the market is reacting to it. Like I don't really sit and listen to a bunch of boring earnings calls. I'll get the results, and then I'll pay attention to that particular stock, movement the previous day after they report earnings, and I'll try to
Mhm.
figure out. I do a lot of guesswork as to how the market reacted to the earnings report and the forward guidance and all of that. I know if the
Okay.
company reported bad earnings, but they had good forward guidance, the share price normally appreciates the next day following that because the market is forward looking at the end of the day.
Okay. So, yes, thank you, Denise, for tuning in. It's Denise's first time here also. She discovered us from, Investing from Rod's channel. So, frugality is life has a comment here, Press. Can you read it, please?
What type of stocks will you be doubling down on more, dividends or high growth stocks? Well, me personally, I'm starting to venture off more into dividend stocks versus me last year or me a few months ago. I was more leaning towards growth stocks. So I think that I will be trying to double down more on basically, let me start over. I'll basically be sticking to my pyramid strategy. I'll just try to double down my weekly deposits and allocate my funds accordingly, based off of my investing strategy that I implement. So that's what I will be doubling down on. It's no company in particular. It's just that I will be doubling down on my weekly deposits.
Mhm. I think for me, it's gonna be more of the growth stocks. I kind of, well, maybe 75 in the growth stocks and 25 still building out my dividend positions because there is some overlap for that in those, because like Apple and some of my growth stocks also pay a dividend. So, but I did spend a little over a year building out the realty income and the Main Street Capital and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'm still building there, but not as heavily as I was. So want to get exposure to some things like Nvidia and other other things in my growth portfolio, as well as continue to build up my VOO, VCI, because still heavily weighted in some of those individual stocks like
Mhm.
Apple.
And that's
So,
what inspired me. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's what inspired me to implement the pyramid strategy because I hear a lot of people say they're overweight in this company or they're overweight in that. I wish had more of this. So that way I can allocate my funds evenly amongst a whole slew of different companies. That way, I know people may look at it as spreading yourself thin, but I'm looking 10, 20, 30 years down the road as far as my portfolio is concerned. Like I'm starting it
mhm,
from the ground up. I'm not worried about accumulating a lot today and, you know, Lord forbid we go into another bear market, then that's more red that I have to look at those unrealized gains and I have to condition my mind as I'm building my portfolio to be able to handle looking at my portfolio being down $1,000, because we're in a current bear market, or I also had to train my mind to be accustomed to looking at my portfolio if it's down $100,000 due to a bear market. You understand? If you can't handle your looking at your portfolio being down 20, $30 or $100, you wouldn't be able to handle it. Say you become a millionaire as far as having stocks invested and you're a multimillionaire, but you're down a whole $1 million in a bear market, you wouldn't be able to handle that because you wasn't able to condition your mind to handle being down a couple $100 or $10 or a few cents.
okay, okay. So Miss Frugal is saying that she loves your pyramid strategy.
Thank you, thank you.
Tim is saying that he's focusing on his options trading. I see him in your morning lives quite often. Yes. Um, Okay. So let's move on to staying consistent, which I think we've been talking a little bit about as we've been
Hmm.
going. So how are you? I know you have you have a plan and you stick to it. But
Hmm.
is there anything you want to share on how a person that doesn't really have their strategy planned out as far as you know their structure of their pyramid planned out and things like that? How do you stay consistent during times like this?
You just gotta have a plan. You gotta have a before you
You have
even
to create a
start.
plan if you don't have a plan?
Before you even start, you should have a plan. But if you're already started and you do not currently have a plan, map out some sort of plan that suits your personal investment goals and what are you trying to achieve. Look, use the investment calculator. That's a great tool to use. And I use it a lot even to this day because I have certain goals of the amount of money I would like to invest daily. Like my goal is to one day get to be able to invest $250 a day. In 7, 8 years, I'm a multimillionaire if I'm able to get to that point. So I'm doing everything in my power to try to achieve that goal. I start with $5 a day. Maybe a few months down the road, I try to better my personal finance situation as far as my income. Start doing $10 a day and try to slowly but surely increase it as I increase my income.
Okay, okay.
You gotta have a plan. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And then you're gonna get through these tough times and you're gonna be looking and second guessing yourself like, is the market going to zero? And you're gonna be looking elsewhere for some sort of something to try to ease your mind. What do you think the market's gonna be after the election? Or what do you think gonna we're looking way past that. Well, I am. I'm looking way past what's going on right now. Yeah, I would like to be informed about it, but I'm not worried about it right now.
Hmm. Yeah, Tim
Yeah,
says you
good.
need.
You right. You have to find your why. Why are you doing this? What are your goals?
Hmm. Hmm. And talking about being consistent, I was just watching Miss Frugal's video. In 1 month's time, daily investing, she's gotten to one share of ETI. Now, at the end there, she did have to put an extra $50, but I just want to say congratulations on that. That is awesome.
Congratulations. That is
1 month
awesome.
time. You see, we don't have to do it overnight, but she can make a plan and just keep going from there. So,
I wish I
um,
had my Let's Go Boy video effect. I would have hit
you know,
that.
I was just saying that I get over here and I just get so caught up in the show and I don't even hit the button. Okay, that's from Miss Frugal. Um, so
I see a question. What do you think about conservative investing apps like Stash or Cash App? If you're just starting
consider.
out, I mean, it's I don't see anything personally wrong with it because you are able to buy stocks and crypto on Cash App. Now, as far as crypto is concerned, I'm a stern believer in not your keys, not your crypto, and I'm a strong advocate for transferring your crypto off of exchanges and onto a cold wallet. But that's a bit complicated to learn, so you should first take the time to learn how that process works and why it's very important that you do so before you even start dabbling into crypto. And as far as stocks, if that's your first go to as far as a learning tool or something like that, I wouldn't make that my primary portfolio. But if that's where you're starting at, then we all have different starting points at the end of the day. So I don't see anything wrong with that. But I would start to venture off into a more established broker, something like Fidelity, where I keep my main portfolio at.
Yeah, I someone I'm not sure. Do you understand this question?
Someone new, are you investing in IRA, 401k, or a Roth or brokerage account? I use a combination of all of them. I use a healthy combination of all of them, even as far as trading. Like I have a Roth IRA for investing, and I also have a Roth IRA for my main trading account, where money that I don't even plan on withdrawing until I reach the age of retirement, so that I'm able to make my withdrawals and make my profit, and it's all tax free, with no penalty and nothing.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm doing the same. I try to go most heavily into my retirement account, but I
Hmm.
want to have early retirement accounts, and then I also focus on putting a little bit of money into my daughter's investment accounts. So I'm doing all three. Um, and I do my retirement accounts are at Fidelity, but then I do my taxable accounts. I have 3 different accounts right now I'm focusing on. I have Public, Webull, and on Moomoo. So those are my platforms that I use on a regular. My daughter's accounts are at Fidelity. She has a Fidelity Youth account and a UTMA account. She's a teenager, so you have to be in 13 to I think 18 to have the Fidelity Youth. But then
Hmm.
she has the UTMA account, so that can be for any age.
Right. That's why I recommend to start to look into, if you started with Cash App as far as investing is concerned, or Stash, that's what makes you want to look for a more established broker because you have those other tools available all at your fingertips on one
Yes.
platform. You're able to open up an account for your children. You're able to open up multiple taxable accounts inside of that one platform versus Webull or Robinhood. You either have a margin account or a cash account, and Webull also has a Roth IRA account there as well. But not yeah, Webull and Robinhood have Roth IRA accounts there as well. So you can have
That they give a percentage match towards.
right. Robinhood
Okay.
has a 3% match. I believe I could be wrong on the percentage, but at one point in time it was a 3% match for your deposits. So if you deposit $3, you would get the 3% added on to that, and that's a good tool
Mhm.
that you can use to help advance get your investing game up.
Yeah. I've never explored it because I've always worked at a company that had a match.
Hmm.
So I was surprised to see that, and I think that's a great thing for people that are working in
The
the
gig
industry.
economy, right, right. I was thinking
Yeah.
that it could be a potential, nice tool to help you build your wealth. You can take advantage of that. Yeah, gig.
Okay. All right. So are we missing anything in the chat? Is there anything you want to touch on before we move on?
Miss
So,
Frugal says it
Miss Frugal,
depends on what type of investor you are too. I am long term, but my nephew is short term. Yeah, you gotta know you have to assess your own personal risk tolerance, and you really got to come up with your own personal goals. Do I want this money now, or do I want this money 10, 15 years down the road? Me, on the other
mhm.
hand, I'm looking to retire when I'm an old man because I don't want to be sitting still and get bored and have idle. I don't have the desire to do a whole lot of traveling and things of that nature because that requires spending more money, and I don't really like spending money. I like using my money to make more money.
Yes, we like our money to make more money. Okay. So, let's move on to staying up to date with current events. So, what is I think it's like I was talking about with everything that has happened and it throughout I don't know how many every few decades or every if we go through every 10-year time frame there's going to be something that happens.
Hmm.
So we just have to be ready for it and take advantage of it and stop being not necessarily scared, be cautious but not scared.
Right.
Not just not don't turn a blind eye to it because political events and trade negotiations, global crisis, we hear all this stuff going on in the news. Take a minute and take a look at what is going on in the economy. Is there an investment that you could be maximizing for when this stuff turns around? Because like I said, it's the whatever the issue is, it's going to get resolved or it's going to improve and so will the market. So, what do you have to say about economic indicators, earnings reports, what's going on in the you know,
As
when it
as
comes
a trader, the current events are most important. Now, as an investor, the current events they are informative for the short term, like good entry opportunities for potential new investments or a potential opportunity to double down on your current investments or something like that. But it's really nothing to be afraid of or anything like that. Like I hear a lot of people making videos, they're worried about what the Fed is going to do as far as lowering interest rates, and they're worried about what's going to happen to the market when the election happens, and when are we going to, they're trying to predict when we're going into the next recession and things of that nature. But if you thinking like I'm thinking, if you have my current thought process, you're looking 10, 15, 20 years or more down the road. So you're actually looking for events like this to happen
Mhm.
so that you can take advantage of the opportunity. You it's almost like you're welcoming a black swan event, but you don't want it to hurt anybody or anything like that. But if it happens, you already ready to sell the neighbor's dog so that you can buy Apple because it fell 50%.
Okay. So, um we're I know me and you, we're weirdos.
Why you
You're a
say
weird
that?
because we look at our we looking at our investment account on the weekend. The investment account that don't move on the weekends, we're looking at it on the weekend. So,
Yeah,
how much time or do you have any someone asked this question the other day. I don't even think I answered them. So, where do you go to research your financial news? About how much time do you spend? And then how much time do you think a regular average person might spend looking at the news, just keeping themselves a little bit updated? Do they need to look at news? Is there or could how do we stay updated? Any recommendations for people on that?
I use multiple different sources. I don't even know where to begin. Like I have the Yahoo Finance that's on the Yahoo Finance app that's on my phone currently, and I'm getting all kind of notifications. Like right now, I just got a notification how Tesla's high growth energy unit could be another Amazon Web Service. So understand what I'm saying. I'm constantly getting all type of news headlines and things of that nature, mainly because I am a content creator and I like to keep my viewers
Mhm.
informed as to these new news headlines so that they could potentially take advantage of opportunities. It may be something that I'm not interested in investing in, but it could be a company that they could be potentially interested in investing in for the long term. And I like to help. I'm a helpful type of person. So what's another one that I like to use? Tip ranks. Use, let's see, CNBC. I go
Yeah.
on their website a lot. I use, it's a website called Trading Economics. I read a lot of different books as far as training my mindset to be a more of a longer term investor. You know, it's all types of different news sources that I use, but
Yeah.
mainly Yahoo Finance, CNBC, because I like to track the performance of futures and commodities and treasury yields and things of that nature because I have to put my trader hat on during the week and try to navigate which direction the market is going to go so I can play it accordingly. Um, I also use a lot of tools that are available on Moomoo, and I use Twitter a lot. I follow a lot of different financial influencers on Twitter in the crypto space and in the stock market space. I use I go over to the Trading Whisperers page over on Twitter so that I can get the earnings calendar and I can share it with my audience and things of that nature. For the people
Okay.
that's not interested in following Twitter, because we have a lot of people in the investing space that aren't content creators. They're stuck on Facebook and TikTok and apps like that. Instead of
Yeah.
using the smartphone, I'm not trying to get on anybody in the audience. Instead of using your smartphone for something smart, you're using it for something that's keeping you distracted from learning more about this wonderful world of investing and building wealth over the long term.
Okay. Okay.
So
I'm
stop
like, I
using
was
your smartphone to do dumb stuff.
I was about to rein you in on that one, Prez. I'm like, Prez got lots of sources to tell us about. Um, yeah. So Tim is talking about FinViz. I don't think I've ever gone on that one. If you familiar with that one?
Finviz. Yeah, I haven't used it yet, but I have made a note of it to check it out. I just have not got around to doing it yet.
Okay. When you were
But I
little, did you?
also use the Weevo desktop, of course, and you can download that to your personal computer or laptop. I also use TradingView so that I can
Mhm.
look at the crypto charts and things of that nature. I use the Crypto Bubbles website so that I can,
Oh yes,
get a
we all
broad
use.
spectrum as to what's going on in the altcoin space and things of that nature, where the volume is. Maybe I can find a potential trade on one of these altcoins.
Mhm.
I use a lot of different sources.
Mhm. I need your help with a little bit of help with the Weeble desktop when you have a chance, Press.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So on to the next segment. Uh, if you haven't started in your investing journey, now is the time. We've kind of been talking about that as we've been going along,
Yeah.
but the power of time. I think a lot of people do not realize, are not encouraging young people and or especially us that people that have gotten to their 30s or 40s and now we're like finally getting our eyes open to, oh, we need to save for retirement. You've let decades pass when you could have been even contributing a small amount, and that amount that you could have been contributing throughout your 20s, it's going to put you in a place where you could be 100,000 or plus dollars short of where what you could have accomplished if you stayed consistent, not ever touch it. Like I said, not tapping into it when we need a down payment for this or need to fix that. But so I know like you have a young daughter. What do you say to like your daughter and her younger friends um about people in their 20s? How I know you always say it's hard to give people encouragement because they're not
Hmm.
ready to get there, but
Hmm.
let me not even use that as the scenario of your family, but in general, what do you say to people in their 20s and 30s about getting started and being consistent with being mindful that time is on their side, the power of time is on their side, and compound interest is on their side the earlier they start.
Basically, what I say to a lot of people is we live in a capitalist society that is ran by greed. The corporations, the top corporations want to keep you working for them. And if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work till you die. And I also tell them yeah, you're not going to become a millionaire overnight. Yeah, it's a marathon at the end of the day, but not a sprint. But take a second, step outside of yourself and look at your future generation, especially if you have children or plan to have children. Do you want them to work as hard as you're currently working? And if you're constantly building wealth, that's why we say generational wealth, because you don't want your future generations to work nowhere near as hard as you're currently working. Yeah, you may not achieve a millionaire status before you leave this earth, but at least you took the time to lay the foundation, meaning you started your investing journey and you also started informing your friends, your family members, your children. You started teaching them about how to invest so that your legacy can continue for future generations versus you leave a will and now your kids got a boatload of money and they go blow it.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
really that simple. Is you have to choose, do you want to work till you die or do you want to start, not just you, I'm talking about your future offspring as well. Because if you don't instill that mindset in them, once you're gone, the cycle continues. You just get up, go to work. It's like you're on a human hamster wheel, not just you, your future offspring, your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. But if you instill in them the power of compound interest and how it actually works, now your name is now turning into a brand name. You understand? It's really that simple.
I hear you. I hear you. Um, okay. So I think we touched on everything that I had in this area. You have an update for us for the upcoming week as far as upcoming earnings, FOMC meetings, anything like that?
Actually, I do. This will be a very, very busy week as far as earnings and as well as the FOMC meeting, which is coming on Wednesday, where the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell will be announcing his rate hike decision. The market has already pretty practically priced in that he will start cutting rates as early as September. So we're expecting him to announce Wednesday that he will be leaving the interest rates the same this particular meeting so that now hopefully we're hoping that he's talking about he's more getting more confident as to reaching his inflation goal and things of that nature so that the rate cut can happen in September. But other than that, we had on Tuesday, we got SoFi, PayPal, Pfizer, Procter and Gamble reporting earnings before the market opened. Then after the market closed, we have AMD, Microsoft, and Starbucks. Um, what is the biggest day? I believe it will be Thursday, and we have earnings coming from Moderna, SiriusXM, Amazon, Apple, Intel, and Wednesday, I believe we have Meta and Qualcomm who reports earnings.
Mm,
So a big earnings week, and if some of these large cap companies don't report good earnings along with good forward guidance, it could potentially bring the market down and it corrects a lot more than what it already has already. But my goal is at least a 13% correction. And then we have a nice bounce back to the upside. That'll give me a chance to accumulate more of these good companies for a lower price versus we just constantly run up forever.
okay, okay. Tim is saying this week's gonna be a nice payday. Tim, do you usually do options trades based on earnings, or what is the excitement for you? Um, so let me see. Michael Anthony. Let me highlight his question. Would you mind reading this, Prez?
Which sectors or charts look good or companies and nice inflation went down that food companies looking better in the last few weeks. I honestly don't have any companies in particular that I'm interested in or looking at. I'm just simply staying the course of the companies I already have, just investing according to my pyramid strategy. Like I don't even fancy the idea of looking for potential new opportunities and said companies. And as far as trading them, I only really basically trade the SPY and QQQ, which are ETFs. That way, they're a lot harder to manipulate than an individual company because large money can manipulate the price action of a company, especially when you get
Hmm.
a buy the rumor, sell the news event as far as earnings is concerned. So it's you're taking on more risk that does have higher reward, but the way my risk tolerance is set up, me personally, is not for me. I keep it simple.
Um,
The
okay.
reason tech selling off because people think in the second off of his year is going to be a slowdown. No, well, in my opinion, I don't think that's the case. I basically think that large money has to take profit somewhere, and once the market runs up a good bit, it has to correct, meaning the larger investors are starting to take profit, and then they see other companies that are struggling as far as share appreciation is concerned, and all it takes is a positive news catalyst for a small or mid cap company to occur, and boom, you see a nice rally as far as they're up 30% in a week's time or something like that, like your Palantir, for example, or your SoFi, for example. All it takes for is for a positive news catalyst to happen. So that falls in line with overall sector rotation. Eventually, they take profit from one sector that's performing well and they rotate a portion of their profit, if not all of their profits, into a whole different sector who has been performing less as well because the stock market always goes up even though it pulls back from time to time. And that goes for the Russell 2000, that goes for the Dow, that goes for your Nasdaq and your S&P.
Okay. When it comes to like options, I don't know that I have a preference for the SPY and QQQ like you do
Mm-hmm,
because I'll tell you, like this last week, it was one day I got into a SPY put and then it turned around on me and came up. I'm not sure what
mm-hmm.
day that was, but I'm not a revenge trader, but I was able to jump on over to Tesla, take a look at the Tesla chart, do a Tesla option,
And got your
made
spy
back
money
what I
back.
yes.
I go through that with SPY and QQQ, so you're not alone on that as far as
Yeah,
experiencing something like that. Like I may the setup may be perfect on the SPY, but then it immediately reverses and it stops me out with a small loss, of course. And then I'll look right at QQQ and jump right into QQQ and make that money back and then some. Although I don't consider it revenge trading, you're just looking for a different opportunity.
yeah, yeah.
Especially if you didn't take on a much larger position size in your second trade than you did your first trade. Like I'll downsize my position. I'll go in a little lighter on QQQ because I lost more, at the
Mhm.
SPY. So I'll go to QQQ with a much smaller position. I may enter
Yeah,
two and
I'm
three
I'm
times, rinse and repeat, just to get my
mhm,
money back. But I don't
mhm.
consider that revenge trading. You're just simply looking for an opportunity
I guess
elsewhere.
I'm just throwing that in there because I don't want anyone to judge me for, "Oh, she down," for doing that
Right.
because I think some people when they hear it, that's the way they're gonna perceive it. So I'm over
Mm-hmm.
here trying to clean it up even though I think you know what type of trader that I am when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to this. And I am, I think, rather conservative with what I do because, yeah, I'm trying to make money, trying to make money, make money, make money. No, I don't wanna lose money. So, I'm
Nah,
trying to
you don't
limit
want to
that.
blow an account. That really sucks. It really don't
Oh,
feel
no,
good at all.
no. And, I probably wouldn't have lost on the SPY trade. It's like my stop loss, I don't know. Well, it didn't trigger as quickly as it should have, but I don't know. I I can't try to explain that
Gwendolyn
right
says, "I'm
now.
looking forward to a market correction." Me too. I'm looking for. I'm not. I don't think I'm ready for a bear market just yet because of my current personal income situation. But a
Mhm.
correction, I'll welcome that with open arms right now. I'm not. I don't think I'm ready for a bear market just yet because I'm afraid I'll end up missing out on that opportunity because I won't be able to invest as much as I would like to. So correction, yeah. Bear market, no. I'm not ready yet. Let me
Okay,
get my
okay.
together first.
When did you say SoFi, gonna report earnings? Is August 9? No, I think it was sooner than
Tuesday
that.
before the market opens, SoFi reports
Mhm.
earnings.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Press.
But I'll be
Um,
sure to post the earnings calendar. I think I already did. I'm not sure. But I'll be sure to double check and make sure I posted the earnings calendar for this upcoming week. So anybody would like to pay attention to my community tab within the next hour or so, then I'll be sure to do that.
okay. Do you have any update for us on your subscriber? Any new subscribers during today's show?
I'm currently at 498 subscribers.
Well, okay, so we've gone up one since we started the
Hmm.
show, but you did have that 20 minutes on. So guys, I might not be able to, we might not be able to see it yet, but we are 2 away from getting Prez to 500 subscribers.
Neil
So I
says,
know
sell it
I
all and buy Berkshire B.
so if you've enjoyed this show and you are not already subscribed, subscribe. But I think Prez has on over on his side that you have to be a subscriber of 20 minutes. So we might not be able to see if you subscribe today, I'm guessing,
Hmm.
if they're in that wait time. So
I
we
thought I
might not be
changed
able
it to 10 though. I could have sworn
you
I did.
changed it?
I
I
could have
don't
sworn I changed it to 10. It may be showing up as 20 on your
okay.
side, but I could have
Well,
sworn.
whether it's 10 or 20, I'm just saying if you subscribe, we might not be able to see it during the show, but
Hmm.
subscribe. Um, we'll be celebrating on Monday. Tim is ready to celebrate. Yes, we will.
Hopefully so. Yeah.
Prez will be at 500. Yes, he has 500. Oh no, almost 500. Yes, he will have 500. I thought she saw the 500
You
over
made
there.
my heart jump. I look
I
like, hold
wanted
on,
to see
refresh
the
the page, refresh
500.
the
I
page.
said, listen, you guys not I wanted to see the 500 before the show was over.
Hmm.
Um, what's Prez channel name? Okay. A brother of a certain age just dropped Prez's channel link there, and it should be in the description. He's always listed. He should always be listed as my co-host if you're watching on my side. Um, so Corey, you should have it there. Thank you for checking out.
Oh, I'm there.
You're
Thank you.
there?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
Woohoo.
Okay.
Next stop,
Nice.
1K.
Nice. Now let's build on that buffer. Let's get to the 10 because it fluctuates a little bit. Let's
Hmm.
get to 510 so we know we are solid
501. 501. Thank you.
above 500. Good, good, good.
That is
Um,
awesome. I knew it was gonna happen today. I had a dream about it. I had a dream about fish too. I'm just joking.
I think Miss I'm not sure what Miss Frugal dropped. I think she might have dropped your channel link too. Um, thank you. Congratulations, Press.
That is
Um,
awesome.
okay. So don't get scared. Don't get shaken out of your good investments. Stay
No,
consistent. Make sure you're taking advantage of any buying opportunities. Um, yeah, I never
if
said what
life
I said.
happens, do not sell your stocks. Find another way. Find another way.
Yes, I wish I don't think I ever said that out loud before today. I wish I had just taken my money and bought the stocks because I wouldn't have had to sell the stocks because I made it through. I've made it through the
Hmm.
last few years. I've been working steadily, until but I would have made it through, but I just was uh scared to get the money tied up. I was like, oh no, you don't put the emergency fund, but the circumstances that we were in 2020,
Hmm.
mid 2020, yeah, I wish I made some different decisions, but it is what it is. And, if another opportunity is ever in front of me, I will take advantage. So I'm going to share a link to an interview, a live stream that I did over on Investing with Rod's channel a couple of days ago. Guys, check that out. I love going on other people's panels and channels because sometimes it gives an opportunity to maybe get to know me. Because when I'm here and I'm just trying to, um, sometimes when someone asks you questions, you're able to share and get to know about someone in a
Hmm.
different way than when you're just used to watching their own content. So I enjoyed going over there and chatting with him the other night. And I have another interview. It's not out yet, but I just recorded an interview with about the wallet, and that'll be coming out soon.
My
Um,
goal, my short term goal right now is to normalize these type of conversations as far as building wealth and personal finance is concerned, especially when you're at home with your family at the dinner table. If you still have that type of dynamic in your current household where everyone sits down and they eat dinner together, it's not a taboo topic to be talking about because if, like I said, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail at the end of the day. And financial literacy should be going viral. We're currently
mhm,
in a war against it, so
yeah.
I'm on the front line fighting that war.
Okay. So guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank everyone for commenting and the reactions and interaction in the chat has been great today. That really helps our channel. It helps to show the engagement and you guys that have been tuning in for like the whole hour. I appreciate you so much. And congratulations to you, Press.
I feel like on the movie Set It Off at the they robbed the first bank, how Cleo was in the house with the two guns. She's like, woo!
When before we started the live, Prez said to me behind the scenes what number he was at as far as subscribers. And I was like, Prez, look at the top of my paper. What do I have written at the very top? It says 3 away from 500. So I was ready. I was ready. That was priority for me for today to be talking about that. But I was holding up my paper to the screen to prove to him that this was on he didn't know, but this was on the agenda that this had to get done today because yes,
I
it was a
really, really
milestone,
appreciate it.
a milestone
Pipeline
that
says VTI versus VT. I think he asked me that before, and that's when I learned that VT actually has more companies than VTI. I still haven't really looked deeply into it, but
mhm.
just because I started with VTI, I'm gonna be biased towards it because I have so much of it. So I'm gonna answer VTI, but either one, in my opinion, is okay. VTI, VT, VOO, those three, they're like on the same level in my opinion. It depends on your own personal preference. Only you can answer that at the end of the day because from my brief research on VT and what I already know about VTI, they basically have the same performance. It's not about who performs better. It's about my overall security. Is it bringing down my portfolio during the bear market more than it should? And it doesn't. So I choose VTI.
What is that? Vanguard value ETF?
um, not sure if the exact
No,
name.
that's not it. That's not it. Yeah, I don't have the right
I
thing
believe
pulled.
that's the total world stock market ETF.
Oh,
So
okay.
you get companies that are available, get foreign companies as well as domestic companies. Yes, that's Vanguard Total World Stock ETF.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
companies that are all around the world, basically.
I pulled up the wrong thing. But yeah, I guess I had no intention of sharing screen today because I don't even have any screens pulled up underneath.
Now, the only red flag, I just looked at it just now. The only
Mhm.
red flag I have as far as VT is concerned is the expense ratio. It's at 0.07, where VTI is 0.03. So it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you actually get to keep. So that's where I would lean more towards VTI.
All right. All right. So anything else, Prez? Any questions? Anybody have any questions before we wrap up for today? We're
I
coming
see
up.
someone gave me some homework. Mr. Steve Bernard Hunter, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. I will write that down. Now tomorrow I go live at 9:15 a.m. and I will also personally come back at 3:15 p.m. and we can go over SERV together on my evening show.
Mhm,
Just if you're
mhm.
interested in that, don't have me pull it up and you don't show up, man.
So I saw you did, I'm not sure what day it was. It might have been Monday, but all the days are running together for me.
Yes.
There was one afternoon I saw you were you were highlighting or going through reviewing some different stocks.
Hmm.
Did you isn't is that are they in the description? Can we find what you reviewed on that day? Was it Monday afternoon?
I actually didn't even put it in the description, to be honest. I just copied and pasted my previous description from all of my
Okay,
live streams. So I just got a default description section in my live streams.
okay.
But I don't even remember exactly which companies
What
they were, to be honest.
do you know what day of the week it was? Was it Monday?
I'm not what I have been doing lately. I have been going over numerous companies on my evening live stream, to where as
Oh,
though
okay,
it's more like a Q&A session, more like a classroom
okay.
setting, to where as though we can go and research these companies together,
Uh-huh,
because a lot of people don't yet know how to research companies on their own. And I'm
mhm,
also telling them what what I'm looking at, as far as, I'm keeping it simple. I'm not doing a real showing up deep dive, but I'm keeping it simple. Like, where do you start to look at? You look at the PE ratio, you look at the analyst ratings, although I say take them with a grain of salt, but it can give you an idea how Wall Street favors this particular company. Do they like this company? Do they not like this company? Because you can simply
mhm,
use that by looking at the analyst ratings. And if you want to get in more in detail, you look at the options activity, but that's a whole nother story. You start keep it simple for now, and then slowly but surely try to learn something new. Try to add a new toolbox to your, a new tool to your toolbox each day, as far as where you go at how you research things.
mhm. Alright, alright. Hey, Nora. Nora's getting here late today.
Hmm. It's okay. We got replay.
Okay, VTI.
BTI here for now. For the moon. Yeah, that's right. BTI to the moon.
Alright, alright, alright. So, did we cover everything, all that you dreamed about in this week's topic, Press?
Yes, we did. Yes, we
We did.
did.
We did.
And we even got me myself to 500 and one. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. I don't want to smile too much on camera, so I'm ready to go
You don't
now.
wanna smile too much.
Like, look at Prez. He just over there cheesing, showing all his falsies.
Alright, alright, alright. Yes, Miss Frugal got some applause. Some applause for Press.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I was joking with someone saying that some buttons were gonna get used this week, so
Hmm.
some buttons some
And you
buttons got
used it.
used. Some buttons got used this week, but I have to get more in tune with what I am doing and
I have a few buttons, but I can't seem to get them to work while I'm streaming live. I can hear them on my end, but I can't get them to work to where as though everyone else can hear them.
Mhm, mhm.
So I haven't really been bothering with them.
Okay. Congratulations. Need SQQQ to take off. All
Oh
right.
man,
All
Tim, hey,
right.
please be careful with SQQQ. Hopefully you're
Nora was
trading the
now.
actual stock versus the options. Mm. I'm not even ready to share my story about my horror story about SQQQ. But yeah, I done got smoked messing with SQQQ.
Mhm, mhm.
Then turn around and got smoked on TQQQ right after that, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay. All right, Prez. Well, thank you for being here every week with me. You are the awesome co-host, and I will see you again next week.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks again,
Um,
everyone. Thanks again, everyone. And don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to us both. And that's about it. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die.
bye, guys.